So, this dog just yawned. Okay, so his lights stayed on during Texas storm. Now he owes $16,752. Sorry, Max is being a little bizarre. Anyway, after a public outcry from people like Scott Willoughby, those exorbitant electric bill is soon due. Governor Greg Abbott said lawmakers should ensure Texans do not get stuck with skyrocketing energy bills caused by the storm. I covered a story yesterday that said that someone's bill turned to $10,000. $16,000 is fucking ridiculous. And in my story that I covered yesterday, I mentioned in that this the way that this company works is they automatically take the electric prices out of your account on a day-to-day basis. So if like you use $12 of electricity, it takes it out of your account, that kind of a situation. And so people have their, they want to pay their bills on time. So they've got their like credit cards or debit cards linked, their bank accounts linked, and then all of a sudden energy prices skyrocket and they're stuck with tens of thousands of dollars of debt. San Antonio, as millions of Texans shivered in dark, cold homes over the past week, while a winter storm devastated the state's power grid and froze natural gas production, those who could still summon lights with the flick of a switch felt lucky. Now, many of them are paying a severe price for it. My savings is gone, said Scott Willoughby, a 63-year-old Army veteran who lives on Social Security payments in a Dallas suburb. He said he has nearly emptied his savings account so that he would be able to pay the $16,752 electric bill charged to his credit card 70 times. 70! Not 7. Not 0.7. Well, I guess technically that would make it reduced, but 70 times what he usually pays for all of his utilities combined. There's nothing I can do about it, but it's broken me. Mr. Willoughby is among scores of Texans who have reported skyrocketing electric bills as the price of keeping lights on and refrigerators humming shot upward. For customers whose electricity prices are not fixed and are instead tied to the fluctuating wholesale price, these spikes have been astronomical. The outcry elicited angry calls for action from lawmakers from both parties and prompted Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican, to hold an emergency meeting with legislators on Saturday to discuss the enormous bills. We have a responsibility to protect Texans from spiking their energy bills that are a result of the severe winter weather and power outages, Mr. Abbott said, who also has been reeling from the state's infrastructure failure. Has said in a statement after the meeting. He added that the Democrats and Republicans would work together to make sure people do not get stuck with skyrocketing energy bills. Again, Greg Abbott is the same guy who went on TV that said, oh, it's the wind. It's the solar energy. It's killing us all. The solar energy and the wind. The electric bills are coming due at the end of the week, in which Texans faced a combination of crises caused by the frigid weather beginning on Monday, when the power grid failures and surging demand led to millions being left without electricity. Natural gas producers were not prepared for the freeze either, and many people's homes were cut off from heat. Now, millions of people are discovering that they have no safe water because of burst pipes, frozen wells, or water treatment plants that have been knocked offline. Power has returned in recent days for all of about 60,000 Texans as the storm moved east. Right now, it's pretty fucking cold where I live right now, so. Where it has also caused power outages in Mississippi, Louisiana, West Virginia, and Ohio. These steep electric bills in Texas are a part of the result of the state's uniquely unregulated energy market, which allows customers to pick their electricity providers among about 220 retailers in an entirely market-driven system. Under the plans, when demand increases, prices rise. The goal, architects of the system say, is to balance the market by encouraging consumers to reduce their usage and power suppliers to create more electricity. This is religion, folks. This is religion. The invisible hand! Oh! invisible hand has decreed, ladies and... Oh, what is that? The invisible hand. Oh, shoving a middle finger up your asshole is what it is. Under some of the plans, when demand increases, prices rise. I already read that. But when last week's crisis hit and power systems faltered, the state's Public Utilities Commission ordered that the price cap be raised to its maximum limit of $9 per kilowatt hour, easily pushing many customers' daily electric costs above $100, and in some cases, like Mr. Willoughby's bill, rose by more than 50 times the normal cost. Many of the people who have reported extremely high charges, including Mr. Willoughby, are customers of Griddy, a small company in Houston that provides electricity at wholesale prices, which can quickly change based on supply and demand. Again, it's religion, folks. This is religion. The company passes the wholesale price directly to the customers, charging an additional $9.99 monthly fee. Much of the time, the rate is considered affordable, but the model can be risky. Last week, foreseeing a huge jump in wholesale prices, the company encouraged all of its consumers, about 29,000 people, to switch to another provider when the storm arrived, but many were unable to do so. Katrina Tanner, a Griddy customer who lives in Nevada, Texas, said that she has been charged $6,200 already this month, more than 5 times what she paid in all of 2020. In about a week, she paid more than all of 2020. She began using Griddy at a friend's suggestion a couple of years ago and was pleased at the time with how simple it was to sign up. As the storm rolled through during the past week, however, she kept opening the company's app on her phone and seeing her bill just rising. Miss Tanner said Griddy was able to take the money she owed directly from her bank account, and she now has just $200 left. She suspects that she was only able to keep that much because her bank stopped Griddy from taking more. I can read more of this, but you can read the rest of this on your own. I just want to let everyone know, again, this is a crisis not of the weather. The weather we knew about. Everyone knew about it. This is a political crisis caused by politicians, caused by the oil and gas industry, and mostly caused by Republican politicians, to be specific. Again, what did Greg Abbott do, governor of Texas, as soon as the storm hit? He went on Fox News and said, "Oh, it's the wind turbines. The wind," he said on Fox News. Meanwhile, the real problem was that oil and gas companies were actually unable to get more natural gas, and that's why the prices skyrocketed. Again, the governor was going on, "The wind! It's the wind!" when the wind actually has been generating even more electricity, now that reports are saying. So again, these people, this is what I call the cult of capitalism, the death cult of capitalism, folks. Capitalism tells you it's better to starve, it's better to freeze, it's better to die than possibly be given a government handout. That's what capitalism tells you. There's people that are stuck, and if they don't pass sweeping relief here, people are going to be... $16,000 is more than some people make in a year, especially with this pandemic making unemployment such a difficult thing to deal with, right? Imagine getting stuck having to pay a year's salary because of a week-long winter storm that everyone knew was going to happen. It's ridiculous. And we got to make sure that these motherfuckers are actually taken care of, because you know that the Republicans are going to, like, again, they've been crying and whining. Oh, what do we do about $1,400 in the COVID relief bill? Oh, it's too much, Republicans say. Oh, $1,400 is too much, they say. Well, guess what? There's people in Texas that now need $14,000. Not $1,400, $14,000. And even then, that won't cover the costs, like with the case of Mr. Willoughby here. We need to nationalize all these industries. We need to make heat, electricity, internet, water, etc. It all needs to be free. It needs to be clean, and it needs to be taken care of by the... Why even have a government? Why even get taxed if they're just going to shove your fucking tax dollars in a fucking fireplace and then shove your face into the fucking soot? What's the point? And again, Texas is a terrible state with terrible politicians, terrible system of governance. but nobody deserves this. Again, you have to understand, most people don't understand this shit. So most people will vote for Republicans because, oh, they believe that gay people are bad, and so do I. And they don't understand that Republicans are also fucking them in the ass with a big rubber dick. And again, I really just, the death cult of capitalism, it needs to be stopped. If after all of these disasters, you're not understanding that capitalism has got to go, if you are still supporting capitalism in any capacity, I'm sorry, you're a fucking dipshit. Christian in the chat, $4.99. Residents of Flint, Michigan were forced to pay the highest water bills in the U.S. Imagine paying to be poisoned. Capitalism bought politicians. Yup. By the way, does Flint have clean water yet? It's fucking ludicrous.